You ready to start?
Yep. I don't have any questions. But you got Romeo's.
Mm-hmm. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, now we greet people with our backs to them?
Yes. Hi, Seth.
Is there anything that my father would like to tell my mother, like any advice or comforting word? Should we sell or rent the house that we've been building? Just that he is well and that it's okay for her to be happy and to move on. She doesn't have to be in constant mourning. There's no guilt. Do things that make you happy. You could sell or you could rent. In the long run, you will make more money if you rent the house, but it depends if you want the experience of being a landlord, because there are responsibilities tied with that. If you do not want that, then you could sell it. What race were the juveniles that first inhabited the planet? They were like a light brown color, like First Nation people, or like a person who is half white and half East Indian. Why do we humans have different skin colors? It's just on variety. At one point, pretty much everyone was within the same couple levels of hue, but for the sake of variety and for the sake of how many people are here so that everybody can have an appearance that is different, it changed and more were added. Does it have to do with adaptations and geography? Well, yes, because in Africa, of course, everyone is dark, and that has to do with the sun, because if everybody there was pale, the way you believe the world works is that pale skin burns, so that wouldn't be very beneficial. And then people who are up north are usually more pale because they get less sun, so that's just how that happened. Were the juveniles teleported to Pangea? Pretty much. That's the term that makes most sense to you. It's kind of like when you go from physical to non-physical, just your soul goes, and then when you come back, you don't come back as a whole person, you come back in a person. But you can go from physical to non-physical and back again. So it's just kind of like you're shedding your body and then you're gaining a body again. So yes, it was like teleportation. Who designed our bodies? Was it evolution? The very first people who came to Earth, in a combination with teachers, were the first to come, so they got to have input on how bodies looked. What the body looks like today is partially based on evolution, but that is more to do with asking rather than things changing. What did the juveniles that teleported to Earth first look like? They pretty much look like you do today, except they had 7 arms. Not. They had the medium tone skin, the, tanned look. They had more of like wild hair, curlier hair, not like flat, fine hair. And they tended to be shorter because they climbed trees a lot. And they were very fit. They're not like Americans are today. They're very, very fit. So just shorter, more muscular. Did they look like the children of today or more like cave children? Were they ashamed of their nudity? I guess, yes, more like cave children, more kind of wild hair. No, they weren't ashamed because that wasn't an emotion that was created yet. Nudity was just part of it, but they did create clothes just to protect their bodies and from the weather. Is it possible to reality hop? And by reality hop, I mean instantly switch to an alternate reality where a particular event has or hasn't taken place. It's what you're describing is astral projection. And yes, it's possible. Jane used to do it. Lots of people do it. But you can also travel in your dreams. You can ask to go to a certain place, like, yes, maybe you want to go right before the Twin Towers fell, or right before some big celebration to witness it. You can. And you can go to things that have already happened if you did want to experience that. It takes a lot of practice, a lot of meditation, but yes, it is possible. When a human is channeling an energy, they're in answering mode, correct? Yes. So would they need someone else to ask the questions to receive information, or can the likes of Randy, Esther, April, Daryl, etc. ask and answer their own questions in their heads? Yes, they can answer and ask. Esther Esther will influence answers. So if Seth is answering, or not Seth, if Abraham's answering a question and she has an example she thinks would be good to use, she'll nudge him and he'll tell that story. And she can, add her 2 cents. But people like Esther who channel one teacher regularly, they're in constant communication, so throughout her day she can just think a question and have Abraham deliver it in her mind. Same with Randy and Seth. So they don't need to be fully channeling to receive answers. If non-physical is whatever you want it to be, then what does non-physical actually look like without any influence? In other words, what does ultimate reality look like if I don't have anything in mind? That would be like someone who kind of has no expectation of what it's supposed to look like. So generally the basic is just a big large field with like kind of cloudy skies, but it's sunny. There's just lots of clouds in the sky. Blue underneath that. It's dry. It's green. And there's like a little building where they go and they're greeted by, their guides, their past family, friends. So it's kind of like a field out in the middle of nowhere with nothing around it that just rolls on forever until they understand that they create it, and then it adjusts and alters. Let's say someone loses a limb and after some time the wound heals and the person is left with a stub. Would they still be able to grow back that limb? How would that work? Would the stub just begin to extend until the limbs grew back? It depends where they live and who the influences are around them. If they live in the middle of the bush, it's really easy. If they live in a big city and they're well known, like a surfer who lost her arm, it's unlikely. But it's a lot easier with something small like a thumb or a toe because people kind of forget that they're not there. But with an arm or a leg, it's quite difficult. If they do manage to, then yes, the limb just pushes through the skin that's there and stretches it until it then forms, a hand and fingers or a foot and toes. Or if it is like a thumb, until it reaches the nail and then the skin peels back and the nail emerges. But it is possible, it's just at this time less likely of something to happen. Unless you live in the bush where there's no belief that it doesn't grow back, it just does grow back.
Just on that, just add on to that. If you do grow a new limb, will it grow back to the same as it was, or can it be deformed, or like
No.
when you intend it, do you have to be specific about your intention that way, or?
No, because your limb knows what it was, so
Okay.
it grows the same.
Okay.
Sometimes it's a bit stronger, or sometimes it's weaker, and you just have to train with it to strengthen it. But no, it won't grow back like weird looking.
Okay. And just to jump in again, why is Randy's back bothering her?
She's been sleeping funny.
Okay. Can she release that and get rid of it, like
Perhaps.
without having to?
Go in a hot tub?
Yeah.
Or you guys could go to the sauna at the pool.
There you go.
After work tomorrow.
Perfect.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It won't last long. You're not welcome. Okay. Let's say a piece of wood gets lodged into your leg and then your body heals with the piece of wood still inside you. Would you need surgery to remove it, or is the body capable of splitting out the piece of wood on its own? Again, it depends on your beliefs, but the piece of wood is made up, so it can dissolve into nothing within seconds if your beliefs and intentions are there. Or it can, yes, dissolve on its own and be passed through your body. But if you don't believe either of those things, then you'd have to have surgery. But, like, everything in this world is made up by you, so it just depends on which avenue you want to take. Sometimes I really hate being a human. We have so many limitations, you think. And we have to deal with annoying bodily functions that get in the way of fun and creating sometimes. Is it really necessary for us to sleep, eat, and poop? Why must I be cursed with these annoying limitations? I suppose contrast brings clarity. It's all part of the human experience. Just rooting through Randy's purse. That to be on the record.
Good.
What were you looking for? Not in there. Possibly in there.
Oh, carry on.
He was looking for a band-aid for his boo-boo. So, back to the question. It's part of the human experience. That's what you signed up for. Most people find eating enjoyable because of tastes and different textures and things. But people don't need as much sleep as they think. Brock is just flashing me his boobs right now. It's very disturbing. So you can function on 2 hours of sleep if you train your body. You know, cavemen didn't sleep through the night because they had to be on saber-toothed tiger watch. And they didn't have the luxury of sleeping in. They had to do a lot of things in the day just to survive. So, no, you don't need nearly as much sleep. Lots of creative people have insomnia, which just is less sleep. And they get a lot done. You know, they clean the house from midnight to 3 a.m. They write a couple chapters. They read. They draw. They do all sorts of things. So, no, you don't need as much sleep. Eating, you don't have to eat as often as you think. Lots of people eat out of boredom. But you can go half a day without eating and not even realize if you're in the vortex. You do have to go to the bathroom because you're eating, so you can't knock one without knocking both. You just have to see it more as part of the experience, and it's not like spending 5 minutes in the bathroom is going to limit you from achieving your goals. So multitask. Eat while you write or read, if that helps you. Okay. Is it possible for a medium to speak the native language of the person that they're allowing to come through? Yes. A person channeling can speak any language that the teacher knows, which is typically all of them. It just depends on the speaker's confidence. Often they think, oh, well, I used to study French in school, so I could probably channel in French. But really, they could channel in any language as long as they're allowing. And you'll see more of that soon. Seth, how do you know everything you know? Do you access the Akashic records? Are you some type of god? No, I'm not a god. There is it's almost like Google. There's a big library database of all the information that we're able to access at all times. There's a new show, The Good Place. They have this snap of the fingers and this woman is there and she is their Google. She tells them everything every time they ask a question. It's kind of like that. You can instantly access it, and anytime you have a question, the answer is there instantaneously. So that's how you have access. That's how you know things. But no, Abraham and Seth are not gods. Okay, Romeo's done. And just like that, there's Xenia. I feel good most days about the job search we've spoken about before. I've been writing about it and have my business card in my wallet. Am I close? Yes. But you're still doubting, there's still that little bit of worry. So you might need to do a little bit more writing and just relax a little bit. Hasn't happened yet, but it's coming. Time is a made-up thing, so I actually already have the job. The job is mine. And just be a little more gentle about it. And you'll find that's when you're allowing, you're not accidentally resisting. You're up.
Okay. Why did we both fall sick yesterday, Randy and I?
Because Randy believed the spring rolls were bad. And she bit into one before you were there and spat it out as her first instinct because she knew it wasn't any good for her. Then you ate a plate, so she thought, oh, it must be okay. She ate a plate and then regretted it. You're easily influenced by Randy, so the two of you got sick.
Very good.
Okay, Xenia, I'm on a visa deadline of 2 months or have to leave the country. It won't take that long. You can allow it tonight. Before you go to sleep, say, I want to be shown how to relax and to allow the job to come to me. And I want the work to be done in my sleep. And I want to wake up knowing it has been achieved. And then in the morning, you will feel a difference. Why do I get pain only in the right side of the body since I can't remember? Since I can remember, it's always on that side. That's just a coincidence. It's a pattern that you noticed once, and because you noticed it, you keep reiterating it. So a pattern is just a thought that's repeated. And because you've thought that and you continue to think that, that's why it happens. But you can release all pain. Do the Abraham process on feeling better, and you can release it. Oh, I'm sorry, Rocky, but you don't have a process out yet. So unless you like to finish that book, we can't recommend that. So tell your body, I trust that you know how to rid me of this pain. I trust that all my cells are here for my best intention, and soon this pain will be gone as I do not need it. Okay, you're up, Rocky.
When are we going to continue with book 2?
When do you want to?
Tonight.
Maybe. If you cook a lovely dinner.
Okay, done. Egg rolls and
Ugh.
or wonton soup.
Nope.
Okay. Very good.
Next.
What to do? Give me a minute.
Did you figure out the YouTube videos yet?
I think I did actually, yeah.
You should work on that tonight.
Okay. Very good. Does Josie have any questions? Oh, there she goes.
Josie, what was it like to work with Jane? Why was she your first partner? Was she my first partner? No. She's just the first partner that has written in the last 100 years for the public. I've worked with many other people throughout the decades before Jane, which is why it's not so hard to believe that I would work with someone again. Just because the person perishes and transitions doesn't mean that the teaching stops. So with Abraham, same thing. He's taught many, many times before. With Theo and Veronica, they've all taught before. But with Jane and Robert and I made the agreement before they came here that that was something they wanted to do and experience. And so we worked together. It was good. She was very, very skeptical because all of that had been blocked. But it was also good because it made it more believable. Same with Randy. She's very cautious about it at first. But once the wall's down and the allowing is there, then it's real easy. Can I say You wouldn't trace it back in any books or anything because most of what was discussed wasn't written down. It was more secretive then. It was thought of as witchcraft. Is it like Edgar Case sort of thing? Not quite. It would have been like small groups of friends. In some cases, it was just the one person and they just lived in the way that they were taught and they used the processes and they influenced others without actually saying anything. They were just enlightened, so they enlightened others. But many know about the secret and law of attraction, so any president, most celebrities, anyone with millions of dollars, they all understand it. So that has been around for a long, long time. And then the teachers have been scattered throughout and assist in that.
Very good, Seth. Okay, I'm up. What information?
Don't use the capo question.
Nothing's really coming to mind right now. When do you think our book's going to be out? The first book.
February, if you do it every other night.
Okay. Very good. Why does Randy sometimes not want to channel?
She just sees it more as a job and less as fun. But that's just because she's can ask questions whenever she wants, so it's not like this special hour where she gets information. She gets information all the time, so it's different for other people. But the more she gets to do it in person instead of on a computer, the more fun it is.
Okay. Very good.
What are sonic booms that people are hearing? Can be a couple of different things. Sometimes it's non-physical. Sometimes it's a noise to alert you to something. I mean, sometimes it would be a physical thing if you're at an air show, or is that because you connect online to so many? Okay, so with the sonic boom, it could be something real, like a bomb, or I don't know, crash of a train or something. But if you hear a very loud noise that grabs your attention and makes you turn towards it, you're looking that way for a reason. Maybe you start walking towards it and a car misses you that was going to hit you. Maybe you're supposed to go meet someone and then you hear this giant noise and it distracts you and then you rethink why you're meeting that person. It's just a sign from non-physical, from your guides, your angels, whoever, trying to alert you to something by a big dramatic sound. So people who are audio or who are just in tune, they're the ones who hear those. Now, your next question, is that because you connect online to so many? I believe it is in regards to what Randy was saying. Well, what I was saying about Randy. She finds the in-person more fun because she can see the reactions and you can feel the energy easier. But online is still good because it's an international thing, which eventually, with the touring, it will be international. So it's just the beginning steps. It's just seeing it as the journey rather than the destination.
Nice. Very well put. You're getting smarter.
Your turn.
Okay. You got anything for Josie for her upcoming show?
Have your cards ready.
Should she pre-pave it, sort of see it in her mind going the way that she'd like? Some writing on it, maybe?
Do some visualization. Who do you want to be there? What type of people do you want to attract? Do you want to gain a bunch of clients? Do you want to feel relaxed? Do you want to feel energized? Are you going to do the speaker's corner for an amount of time? You know, it'll be good to get your name out there and see it going how you want it, do a bit of work on it, and just have fun with it. Don't put too much pressure on yourself like it's this business weekend. Just have fun with it. You get to be around a bunch of people who understand the same things as you, so it's just a good way to network in a fun, relaxed way.
Okay. Very good. Should we look at doing booking some venues for getting Randy out there?
Maybe smaller ones for now, or, you know, going through a place like the Whispering Tree in Grand Prairie, where they host channelers and mediums, and renting their room for an hour.
Okay.
Because they already have people who come to them, and then you can network from there.
Okay.
Or the Lighthouse.
Okay.
Randy originally talked to a guy, and he said they were looking for people like her, but you turned it down. So you could always contact them.
Okay.
Or you could just rent a space and just get Betty to tell everyone she knows, and Yvonne and Josie and whoever.
Okay. Very good.
I'd wait until like April, May though for that.
Okay.
So yeah, any advice for the year for us all, general yet essential, which we aren't aware of yet? You guys are very good at asking, but you're not good at receiving. When it's something small, it seems very easy to manifest, but there's no difference between manifesting a bracelet, then a car, then a house, then a job, then $100,000. It's all the same. It's the same process. You're asking for it, you're knowing it's yours, you're eagerly, excitedly waiting for it, and then it's in your hand. So just be easier about it. It doesn't matter how long it takes. It doesn't matter if someone else can manifest faster. It just matters on you're getting it, you. So just be gentler, be easy, do writing. You know, when you're getting impatient, just say to yourself, in another reality, I already have it. And just relax. Josie, what ability should I focus on? How can I improve it? You're really good with the card reading, but you don't need cards to read. You can just pick up on energy and just give information. I would focus on that, but you're really interested in the healing aspect as well. It's fine to have two different, skills that you're focusing on, but I wouldn't go with like 7 or 8 like some of the people there did, because it gets too confusing and then people think you're not authentic. So I would just focus on readings and healing with energy and crystals and those two. Xenia, but there's so much guilt attached to the bigger. Guilt is a human thing. Guilt is not a non-physical thing. Guilt was made by humans to make people think that there was a limit. There is no limit. So just know that there is no limit. As long as there is the asking, there is the receiving. So if I want it, I can have it. If that guy wants it, he can have it. If everybody in this city wants it, they can have it. There's no limit. The universe will always create more. Things can be created out of midair. It's not like there's some big warehouse where all of the vehicles in the world are stored and once they're gone, they're gone. There's always more. So there's no guilt. And if you do achieve something big that you enjoy, you can share it with others. And that relieves this guilt. And the guilt will leave once you read more about how things work.
And, I guess to jump in there, Seth, if she's got a real strong guilt subject, obviously there's a lot of momentum there too. If she doesn't feel like $1 million is, well out of her reach, she'd need to soften that a bit too, wouldn't she? Like there'd be a bit of momentum behind it. If you're feeling guilt, like it's your train's left the station and you're moving pretty good. Like should have to soften that a bit too. Like especially like the things that we talked about. I don't remember if we did it on a session or not. Was instead of talking about a lot of people talk, oh, why am I so broke? Why am I so why does this always happen to me? Why does that always happen to me? Instead of saying that, why don't they switch it to why does money always come to me? Why does switching it around instead of looking at the negatives, make it a positive thing and think, why do I always have money in my wallet? Why do I always have enough money for bills and then some? And why is my body always feeling good? Like that's something that people can do right now to sort of shift their focus.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you for do your work for you. Why do we even need Seth? I can just
Bye.
do the session from over here.
Okay. See ya.
Bye.
Take over. Seth has left the building.
Oh, you're back.
So, there's no limit. If you just keep saying to yourself, there is no limit, there is no limit. Mean Girls, the limit does not exist. It'll help you to realize that there doesn't need to be guilt. Josie, if someone wanted to book you, what sort of event works? How many in a group? How long? Well, you can message on our page to do a Skype or phone session, and we can work out all the details. For events, we have to plan them first, but you would buy tickets through the vendor, and then we'd probably start with a 2-hour session, group session, It would be the kind where you all come down, sit in the room, I'm at the stage, I'll do a little intro, and then whoever's got questions is welcome to raise their hands. I'll start selecting people who stand out and keep going from there. I was going to do medium and energy work. It's like I knew. What happened when you first channeled? Did someone witness Seth with Randy checked out? The first time I came to her after a massage, so it was just her. But then that night, a couple hours later, Rocky was there. So Rocky's always seen them. She's never channeled without him. She's talked with me on her own, but there's always been somebody else around. I mean, she could channel me on her own if she wanted, but why bother when you can just chat? It takes less energy, it's easier, and you still get the same information. Josie, what is your page or web page? Well, on Facebook, it's Radiant Wildflower, and then on the internet, it is radiantwildflower.ca. And Rocky is supposed to be working on some YouTube clips so that we can start putting links on there, and you can start listening to some of the first sessions. Okay. You're up.
What are your thoughts on tarot cards?
They're good. Like middleman?
Yeah. Is it your guides that are
Yes.
directing? Cause, there's a difference between inner being and guides. So, who normally?
Your inner being is looking for reassurance. When you have to go to an outside source, your inner being steps back so that your guides, who are still part of you, but they're a little more separate, can answer.
Okay.
When you have a question, the answer just comes to you. That's your inner being.
Okay.
So, tarot cards are like Ouija boards. They're just a tool for you to use to ask, or even a crystal ball. Also, that's more of a thing of the past, but tarot cards are like the fun way, the new way, and there's so many different ones. There's newer ones, so they have images and messages on them that are more what people are looking for today. Like some even just say yes, no, wait. Some say like pregnant, children, debt paid off, money coming, moving to new house, switching jobs. They're very modern. You wouldn't see those on cards, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So cards are really good. Ouija boards have kind of phased out, but some people still try them. But there's more of like a spooky atmosphere with those. So cards work really well. Sometimes people use crystals for answers, and those seem to work too.
Okay.
But it's just a medium that your guides use to connect with you if you can't connect with them through writing or hearing them when you ask your questions.
Very good.
Josie, who does Rocky channel? Will you do shows together like Esther and Jerry? Rocky doesn't channel anyone. Rocky talks with his guides. So it looks like channeling to the outside, but it's just him talking with him. So it's a little bit different because channeling's an outside entity. He's just talking with his guides.
Which is pretty much the same thing as channeling. Right?
Sure. We will do shows. Rocky will probably be part on stage and ask questions if it ever gets slow or he has like a question burning that he needs to ask. Yeah, we will be traveling coming up, like within this year.
What information would you give Betty? Just something general, something that maybe she needs to hear, something that'd be fun for her to hear.
Don't know about fun.
What about for the shop?
With Ashton's picking up on some negativity around the house. It would be good if you did some writing on Matt finding a job to get him out of the house to alleviate his stress. And make him feel better about finances. And then he'll calm down and be, 100% just goofy fun again, not so stressed out. And the kids will calm down once they don't sense that anymore. You could smudge. The kids really like doing that. Randy's got an extra one she's going to bring up next time you guys are there. They can go, clear the house. And just get the kids outside more. Instead of having them come home and go play in the basement, take them outside, set them to the park. It's getting warmer now. The fresh air is good for them. With the shop, there's no need to worry because it's almost done. Once the chairs arrive, then Rocky can finish up a few things here and there. The painting will be done. It'll start to feel real. If you're going to hire your niece to do front desk, maybe start training her now and just getting her used to it. Maybe print out some instructions for her, like if you want her to say a certain thing as her intro when she answers the phones. Figure out a schedule for her. Tell her to start going to bed earlier and waking up earlier because she's going to have to wake up before noon for work. And maybe just get her in for 4-hour shifts at first, and then once she starts working, she'll realize she enjoys it, and she'll probably ask to work more, which would be good for everyone. And yeah, it'll come together really quick, and then you'll forget all about this period before while you were fixing everything up for the grand opening. And then it'll alleviate a lot of the pressure. It's a new, exciting chapter. Okay. Josie, what does 2017 look like for global stuff? A lot of protests and feminist woman power in the U.S. There's going to be more and more about this global warming. There'll be more people attracted to law of attraction and non-physical, so they will make it more known, more widespread. There'll be more books on the shelves and chapters, and it'll just be more and more well known. Certain words like law of attraction, manifesting, receiving, ask, receive, or ask, believe, receive, all that will be more common. You'll hear it as you walk by people a lot more. What will the school system look like in the future? Law of attraction will be incorporated. And so, different books will be read. It won't be the same books from 40 years ago that have old ideas in them. Teachers will talk differently to students. It's something that will, they'll be allowed to talk about and discuss in class. It'll just be a lot better. Maybe there'll be 10-minute meditation in the morning or in the afternoon during class. It'll just be, more enlightened, more uplifted, and better. Your turn.
No, Josie has another system. Another question.
No, I want you to ask one and then I'll talk to Josie.
Should we go to San Diego this year?
Yes.
Done.
Oh, Betty says, am I going to be an auntie this year? Joke's on you, you're already an auntie. Next.
Well played, Seth.
An auntie to another or two, yes. Tell John to use protection.
Good job, Seth.
Ashton said hi and Peyton. Oh, well, Ashton, hi and Peyton back.
Good stuff.
Aloha.
What?
Or, as the name of one of the students Randy taught, Ola.
Why does it feel like spring out already? Like it's
People want warmer
end
weather.
of January and it feels like it's spring outside. It's so nice.
People are over the snow. They want to be able to play outside and go to the beach.
Very good. Very, very good. No more questions? Okay.
Nope, you're not off the hook.
All right.
What are you making us for dinner?
It's a surprise.
Which means you have no idea.
Nope. None whatsoever. What are your thoughts on the lottery and people thinking that's their only way out is to win the lottery?
Those people have hit rock bottom, pretty much. They see the lottery as the only way to get a lot of money without much investment. When really, they could have some random inheritance or a stock they forgot about that soars through the roof. There's multiple avenues for large sums of money instantly. It's just on your belief system. But people who have hit rock bottom and, lots and lots of money and think they need a big amount of money to solve all their problems often aren't the ones who are in the vortex and in the knowing. So they don't see these other avenues that someone like you might see.
Okay.
Josie, do you see any more children in my future? Grandchildren? If you want it, there is another who would like to come. But it depends on you. They're also willing to wait for a different experience if that is not something that you want. But you do seem to talk about it a lot, so you probably want it. Are you going to open an office in GP? Probably not, but a bunch of people in GP will be part of the team and might work from home. So in that sense, there could be home offices in Grand Prairie. Anna is on way to Vietnam. Yes, it will be good for Anna to do some traveling, see some family, calm down, relax a little. She's getting a little wound up. She's obviously missed this session, so perhaps we will write her a message privately that she wants from that past baby.
Very good. Why has Randy been having such weird dreams lately?
Oysters and lobster. When you have more than one entity in you, you've got different energies. So you've got different personalities traveling in dreams. So it just manifests into a whole whack of odd dreams.
What do the dreams mean, though? Like, when you have really, I guess, vivid dreams that
Well,
are,
like the one with Aaliyah wanting to attack her, like, her foster mom. That wasn't realistic. Well, first of all, Aaliyah was black and had an afro, so clearly she had an indication that it wasn't solid. But it's alerting Randy to maybe watch out for Aaliyah right now, because maybe there's some stuff going on that's influencing her and you want to direct her the right way.
Right.
But it's not as realistic or as dramatic as the dream. It's just, that's how you distinguish a dream from something that's real. With the house and it being all weird and painted all crazy and being Betty's business, yet you were selling it, yet it was her business that was opening. Well, that was just to show you that, well, obviously a house like that's not going to sell. But if you've got a house like the one that we have, well, that will sell because it's not so crazy. Headlines in the media can influence you, so her thinking she had, the IUD and needing to take it out is because she's been reading in the news a lot that women are panicking about their IUDs because with Trump in charge, he's not going to allow health care, so they're not going to be able to take them out as easily. So take them out now or get a new one put in now so that it lasts longer. So that was just, from that. But mostly they're just, and you'll pick up on them when you're in the vortex and tuned in, but they're just a dramatic way of getting a point to you. So hang out with Aaliyah, guide her, really get on those kids about cleaning their rooms because it's getting out of control. And once the chaos is out of their living space, the chaos will go away from their... Oh yes, and with Charmaine being in juvie. Just getting the chaos out of their rooms creates a flow. Okay, she will be there at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Yes. Josie, do you see me owning any dogs? Allergic to cats and horses.
How does one
You can
release
clear
their
allergies.
Yeah.
But obviously you don't really have the space for a horse at this point. But if that was something you want in your future, it's the same with food. How can this cupcake be so delicious yet bad for me? Well, those are conflicting thoughts. So this is so good, it has to be good for me. Cats are so nice. They have to be something that I can pet. Horses are so calming. They have to be something that I can enjoy spending time with. And just thinking more in those terms of, okay, well, if I like it so much, why would it want to harm me? Well, it doesn't. It's just this block that's been created. So you can release it. You can do writing on it. You could get a dog. There's always puppies around. And dogs are great if you want to get outside more because they need to be walked. They give affection. But if a cat is something that you desire more, just do some work on it. And once you feel confident, maybe go near a cat and see how you react. Maybe you don't. And just introduce yourself to cats slowly. And it's the same with food. You can kick food allergies and then realize that you never really needed it in the first place. It's just a manifestation of something that was going wrong, came out in an allergy, but now it can be released because you don't need it.
I think that was a good session. 7 o'clock now.
Any last questions?
Any parting notes?
Nope.
No. Do you have anything for the audience?
No.
Nope.
You see Josie's soulmate in the near future. Pretty soon, this whole February thing you're fixated on is drawing it in. That show will be really good for you because you'll meet a lot of people and you're getting clear on what you want. You're getting your business where you want it to be. So everything's falling in place, so it's only natural for a soulmate to appear. Rocky's obsessed with his little parting words, so let's just go with a CO coffee. That's Harry Potter for coffee. Just be gentler about the things that you want. Society right now is so obsessed with having things immediately. You freak out if the internet takes a minute longer than normal to load. But think about 5 years ago when the internet would take 20 minutes to load. You've come a long way. And so just know that in a split reality, you already have these things. So if that other you can have it, the you here can have it. Just be gentle and patient. And then you'll start realizing things manifest quicker for you. Alright. Until next week. Bye.
Thanks, Seth.